the truth.
Mm.
This is Content Creating 101, everyone, and we're talking right here with Big Zebra and Andy Hall. One
Mm.
of my goals, because I've been blogging for well over a decade, and I've been doing YouTube seriously for just about over a year. One of my main goals is that I don't lose money. I don't need to make a lot of money, but I don't lose money, and so that's been one of my ways of keeping this crazy system going
Mm.
forward, is that I don't lose money. I may not make a lot of money, I might just break even, but I don't lose money. So we were just
That
talking about it.
sounds perfectly reasonable.
I think so too. As long as my work schedule and technical difficulties from Tobin Templeman, oh no,
Mm.
I'm sorry to hear that. As long as what goes on here in terms of YouTube, that small Facebook empire I'm building,
Yes.
it's something I'm doing, and the blogging stuff and doing the editorial work. As long as that doesn't interfere with my the vital things I need to get done, like actually putting money in my pocket so I can live, and being involved, being a good boyfriend, or at least a
Mm.
acceptable friend, and doing my dad duties and stuff like that. As long I don't mind spending a lot of time doing this kind of work. Each show takes well over an hour to prepare, and that's just for
Yes.
a 25-minute show. Yeah.
Oh, there are all sorts of things, like even those little clips that
Oh,
you arrange from the well, those have to be selected, maybe put
mhm.
at the right place in the timestamp,
Yeah.
and then ready to go even before you start
Oh yeah.
your live cast.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And those text cutouts from, say, somebody's article on the news, and then you insert it into your show. That takes time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah. I do it for the love of the game. That's what I do it for, Big Zebra.
I'm glad to hear it. The uh, I have some bad news out of Canada.
Oh, what's going on? Don't tell me the maple
Well,
syrup's gone dry. Don't tell me that.
oh, I wish it was just that. Global warming should eliminate a lot of maple syrup, but there has been yet another finding of what is probably graves, 169 of them, at another residential school, this time in
Really?
Alberta.
I didn't know
Yeah.
about this. I'm looking it up right now. Actually, it's in
CNN and CTV both have a post.
yeah. I'm looking at it right now. Search reveals 169 potential unmarked graves at a
Mm.
former Canadian residential school. Yeah, tragic stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like you couldn't even mark the graves, and I wonder if the families were notified. Oh, that kid you raised till the age of 8 or whatever that we abducted and
Hmm.
then put in a residential school. Well, they're dead now.
Yeah,
Come
I
on.
think a lot of I think a lot of it is just like a black hole, right? I mean, the kids got taken
Mm.
away, and the parents don't know what really happened after that. That's my impression, at
Mm.
least, of what occurred with with the residential school system, faith based, mostly
Mm.
faith based residential school system in Canada. Yeah.
Right. Oh Lord. There in other Canadian news, the actress Sarah Paulie recounts alleged sexual encounter with Gian Gomeshi in her new book. The Gian Gomeshi was a famous host in Canada. He would
Yeah.
often interview celebrities and actors, musicians, and apparently he tried to do his hate sex thing on Sarah
Yeah.
Paulie.
Wow.
Uh,
Wow.
And I didn't
That's
even know that hate sex was a thing where you.
it's funny. I don't think you were married for 20 years like me.
Yeah, yeah, you're quite right. But
I
what
was
woman wants to marry a zebra, I ask you?
Well, who? Another zebra, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Well, at that time in Canada, there were few and far between.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, I was talking with a girlfriend about this, about hate sex, And she goes, I have no concept of what that's all about. It's like, yeah, well, yeah. Because her, I'm not telling tales out of school. She'll tell you she was married before too. Is that she got out of her marriage way before I did.
Right.
And her marriage was not as toxic, I'll say that, as mine was. And so, yeah. Hey, Tobin Templeman, Man in Shadows. Good morning.
Yes. Hello, Tobin.
Tobin, what the heck is going on with that Majors fellow? You seem to be on top of the news with that. Now, you may not want to say everything, but there's like rumors and is it Jim Majors? Is it?
Oh, you want me to speak about Jim Majors?
Is he related to Lee Majors?
That is crazy. There's like, huh?
Sorry, keep going.
Joke. Ignore Big Zeb. He is just making a joke.
Yeah, there's an accusation that he's like a child abuser and like abused his partners, and his credentials are fake. It kind of seems like he's just like a fraudulent person. He's just like built this personality upon lies. That's what it looks like. That's what I've been shown some information.
Who is Jim Majors, and why is he important?
He's a person that says that he is a PhD. He just recently became a doctor in New Testament Bible and stuff. Like, he was like probably trying to like appeal to the atheist community by saying that he is
an intellectual.
Yeah, but he's really not.
Yeah. So
that is disturbing.
Yeah.
Is he big on YouTube or something? Is that his platform?
He's been on YouTube.
He is known.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, I've heard of him. I might have bumped into him at some point. I don't remember everyone I bump into in this space or who I talk to. But yeah, just even a cursory look, a Google search of him, Jim Majors PhD, and you get to see a lot of videos that he's been in. Like Dr. Joshua Bowen and Dr. Jim Majors. They have talked together. It's funny you would think that there would be some kind of vetting process, right? Just at the very least, that if you say you have a PhD, there'd be some way to just, within the community, at least within the secular community, people would vet him or vet whoever says that they have a PhD. You would think that would be a thing, but apparently not. It's almost as if there's no rules on social media, or hardly any.
Right.
Yeah, I've actually hung out with them a couple of times, and he seemed all right, but I don't know.
Oh, this is a little bit off topic, but since the first time I met Tobin Templeman, he always seemed sort of weirdly familiar to me. And by meet, I mean on your channel here, Dr. Kennard. Yes. And who does he remind me of? Where is this coming from? And now I realize that his voice reminds me of Mitch Hedberg.
Mitch
Hedberg, who was an amazing stand-up comic before he died.
That name does sound familiar. Yes.
I'm gonna have to look him up. That'll be my.
Yes, well, you will be very much entertained if you do, because he was brilliant.
Awesome.
Simply Secular Dave says Jim Major had some debates on MDD, which is a YouTube channel, I believe. Right.
Maybe we can find out where Jim Majors claims to have his doctorate from.
Well, I don't know what school he because once again, I heard about it on Facebook Messenger, and I didn't have time to really look more into it because I was doing all this other stuff. I'm not much into drama within the secular community, but something, this
Yeah.
happens. This happens every once in a while, everyone, that someone has, plagiarized,
Yes.
another source, or someone fakes their credentials. And to tell you the truth, look, you don't need to do those things
No.
because you're not going to make any money anyway off of YouTube or whatever you're hoping to do. If this is your path to fame and success, then you're better off just getting a job or a side hustle. And I don't want to be that guy who says those things, but you do the art because you love the art. Basically, you say the things you need to say because you need to say those things. And if you're a careerist to do this kind of work, then I suggest psychiatric care. That's what I suggest, psychiatric care, and a lot of it too.
Right. Well, I just, for the first time doing a search, I found a picture of Dr. Jim Majors, and he has an outrageous handlebar mustache.
He does have a mustache. I remember seeing that. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
And I don't want to speak ill of handlebar mustaches. I fully support handlebar mustaches. In fact, I saw a gentleman the other day wearing a very jaunty bowler hat crossing the street in Boston. I'm like, that's very sharp looking bowler hat. I cannot wear such a hat because I walk around schleppy. I think you got to have a whole look if you dedicate yourself to the bowler hat.
Right. Well, I can tell you that I found a thing here that says Dr. Jim Majors received his PhD in the state of Oklahoma, which does not make sense. Wouldn't they mean Oklahoma State University? And he has a master's in theology on New Testament studies and has written a dissertation on the book of Daniel.
Okay. Well,
but how weird not to say where you received your PhD.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You're right. There is something smelly, something that doesn't smell right with that.
Well, I found his YouTube channel. I'm going to subscribe to it and see if I can. I will check out the about page while we're chatting.
Yeah,
it's just really unfortunate. I'm not going to say it's true.
Yeah,
I'm just saying we don't know accusations, and then whenever I scratch on it, whenever I start messing with it, I'm like, oh man, that doesn't add up. Wait a minute.
I certainly hope that he is legitimate and that these claims of abuse are not true, because I would prefer that no one was abused.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I did not want to mention that in the first show because there was just so much other stuff. The world is burning. There are other things to talk about than what's going on within the secular community. But
I agree.
Definitely noteworthy to mention here.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry if I took us off track there.
No. That's fine. That's fine. So what have you been up to, Tobin? You've been up to anything exciting?
Well, I am working on my music, and I am trying to stay tuned into Ukraine, and like I got to watch a documentary last night about Ukraine, and
really?
Wow, why hasn't the rest of the people why isn't the EU and America been helping out these people? They literally were at a rally together, like a peaceful protest. These people are just together and they're singing the national anthem and stuff like that. And then the cops are coming in and beating them with billy clubs. Like in 2015, they were together and they were taking sniper shots. Like
Yeah.
they were just getting picked off.
Oh
Like,
my
and they're
God.
cornered. You know, it's a it's
Yeah.
awful.
Did you see
Cindy,
that on YouTube, Tobin? Was the documentary on YouTube?
I saw it on Netflix.
Oh,
It was
Netflix.
called
Oh,
Winter on Fire, Ukraine's fight for freedom.
interesting.
And it was from 2015. It was released in 2015.
Right. Interesting. How you doing, Cindy Plaza?
Hi, doing okay. And you guys, how are you?
Doing okay? Doing
Um,
fine.
I just wanted to tell you a story that happened to me on Monday
Okay.
because the format of this show might make something similar happen to you. So I had this show open mic like the one you do. We were talking about Ukraine, and 3 times during the show, I got some people I know. Well, some people I thought I know tried to get in the show, and since the name and the logo of the name was familiar to me, so I took them in, and the second they were in, they switched to porn, and
Yep. That
Oh,
happened with me one time, and so yes, that is definitely a problem. So now I have a policy that you have to show your face. You just can't do an icon
Mhm.
if you're gonna. Now, and Big Zebra, I know Big Zebra, right? Big Zebra pops in before the show starts. We talk for like a second or two, so I don't have a problem. But you got to show your face if you're going to come on, especially So that happened to me once. My finger is always near that freaking
yes.
button, Cindy Plaza. I am fast on that.
Also, the porn that I make is for traditional distribution channels, and and we all know that the real money is in wholesale distribution rather
Yes,
than.
indeed. Twice. That's what
And
it is.
and the second one, the video showed actually the guy who was supposed to be on, but it wasn't him apparently.
Oh, yeah.
So that's even worse because they take the name, and if the guy has a channel, they will take a few seconds of image of them, and so while you're in the back room, they will show this image, and then you
Yeah.
click in, and
Yeah. For me, it's you got to show your face. And let's see. So there was one story, and I'll tell you. I don't think you were here for this, Cindy Plaza. I think Tobin and Zeb was here. Is that there was someone who was waiting in the back, in the green room, basically, and they were very patient because I said, "Listen, we don't know who you are. I'm not going to vet any, but we'll talk to you after the show. We'll talk to you after the show. Once everything is ended here and we're not broadcasting on YouTube anymore." So the guy waited. So I thought, all right, so he's might be a legitimate guy. No, he just wanted to show us his junk.
Huh? I do not
You weren't
remember
here for
that.
Big Zebra, Tobin was here for that, weren't you, Tobin?
Tobin
I
never
actually-
forgets a penis. Okay, that was
Unfortunately, I did miss that day, but I do remember hearing it the next day.
I think
you
Sammy
telling
might
me
have-
about it.
I think
Yeah,
Sammy
Sammy
might have
may have
here
been
for that.
Yeah.
428 year. So yeah, so this guy was so invested with showing like us his body. I'm like, wow, you're really dedicated, Block. Never want to see you again. So yeah, theoretically, the reason why we're doing this on another channel is basically for one of the reasons Cindy Plaza just pointed out, is that people love to porn bomb YouTube channels. And so the two main reasons why I'm doing the after party on a different channel is one, to spread the risk out, so to speak, right? So if anything happens on one channel, there's always another channel I can use. And I think that when I think about the YouTube algorithm, and this is another social media 101 stuff, is that I think the after party events might have been messing up the algorithm for the whole channel. That's what I was thinking. I'm doing finger guns. Today's a finger gun kind of day, I guess. So that's my reasoning behind it. So it's been pretty successful so far. We've been getting more views on the first show. People have been popping it like afterwards and watching the videos. Because let's face it, not a lot of people here in the States, at least, are around at 9 o'clock in the morning, but people do watch it afterwards. And so, it's been a successful experiment so far. So, Cindy, did you get into the trouble bubble with YouTube for this? Did you?
No, because since it was a live show, I put it down right after. So
yeah, that's good.
I unlisted it, so I can still refer to it and show people what happened. But it's not part of the algorithm. So
yeah, that's good. That's good.
You know what you could do is upload that video to Pornhub, and then ask if anyone can identify the penis. And maybe
actually, there were 2 in each videos.
Oh wow!
But I think it was a movie anyway. So
yeah.
Well,
Big Zebra, I love your innovative and not so helpful suggestions, but they are funny. I do appreciate them.
Oh, unhelpful. Oh, also, I love the humor that comes with deliberately misunderstanding someone.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's always good. That's gold for me. I just love it. Love seeing it and love producing it myself.
Yep.
That was silly.
So, Cindy Plaza, I was thinking about this the other day about distances in Europe versus distances in the States. And, if there was a war, an active war going on, and I'm here in Massachusetts, but I think the distance between where you are and Ukraine is like maybe how many kilometers? Is that like 1,000 kilometers? Is that like 800 kilometers?
No. I would say 6,000. Let me check.
From where you are in Belgium to
to
Ukraine?
So, no, 2,000.
Yeah. So that's like there would be an active war for me here in Massachusetts, basically being out maybe, of course, west of the Mississippi, maybe in Colorado, maybe if I have my distances. I'm doing a lot of math in my head and I'm really suck at it too. But I would be, and I think a lot of people in the States would be in absolute apoplectic seizure-like fear and anxiety that oh no, it's happening right over there. But for us over there, what seems a lot, it's different spaces, it's different time, it's just a different sense of space here in the States than in Europe.
Yeah. For additional context, my brother who lives in Valencia, in Spain, is 1,600 kilometers away.
Yeah.
Driving distance. So there's only 400 kilometers distance difference between the two.
Yeah. That's like that's driving distance. Like it'll take more than a day, probably, right?
Yeah.
But still, I could drive. I drove out to New Mexico when I was much younger. In 44 hours, we drove nonstop. Basically, I had 2 other guys in the car with me. We just took shifts. But to think that the war would be that close is, at least to my ears that live here in the States, it would be pretty scary.
So we would cross only 2 countries, Germany and Poland, to go there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. 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 I don't know how many times I can say yeah, but yeah, it would be Talk to Mordecai is singing my song. I would shit in my pants.
Mm.
Well,
Yeah.
I do a little bit, but not for that. It's because I live less than 2 kilometers away from the military NATO headquarters.
Oh yeah. Oh
Mm.
yeah. Yeah.
So that's much more scary to me.
Well said.
Yeah.
I was talking with my girlfriend the other night about tactical nukes, and she's like, "What's a tactical nuke?" And it's like, the funny thing about when NATO was planning to defend Western Europe back during the Cold War, because the Soviets had so many soldiers right there. And this is how I understand it, and I could be wrong. The only way that NATO could stem an Eastern Bloc attack on NATO would be by the use of tactical nuclear weapons, like basically battlefield nuclear weapons. That Tobin's like going, how about that? Or
There used to be a type of tactical nuke where it was an artillery shell,
yes,
and you could fire it.
Yeah.
For maximum damage, it would have to explode over
Yeah.
the land.
I think we saw the same documentary on that, Big Zebra.
Maybe so.
Most of them explode in air anyway.
Yes, most of them
Yes.
do explode. Yeah.
The I wonder if they could get a neutron bomb into an artillery shell, because that would be perfect. Especially if you're defending. It's supposed to do little damage to buildings, but to destroy living matter.
Yeah.
So
there's a variety of nasty ways of killing people. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
also, what you do is. Sorry, go ahead, Cindy.
No, I was just commenting. We are very good at finding new ways to kill people.
Yeah. I wish that they were just, what about what I was talking. I think I was talking on this channel. I was talking to my girlfriend about this the other day. It's like when you think about space travel, we're basically still using like propellants like rocket engines that are basically variations of, I think it's Goddard, the first who did the first liquid fueled rocket here in Worcester. He was, I think in like 1919 maybe, or earlier than that. It's like, why shouldn't we have like faster than light drive? That's all I'm saying. Shouldn't I be able to get off the planet pretty fast in case I really need to? I think I should be able to do that, and anyone should be able to in case people get really crazy.
Well, the problem is one thing. For example, for material science, if you wanted a space elevator, hypothetically you could use graphene, but it turns out graphene is incredibly dangerous, because it's like if you swallowed some, you'd be swallowing the world's sharpest knife.
Oh,
because it's only a molecule thin, right? Then you have the problem of you have to manufacture it in huge quantities, and then you have the problem where you can't have a defect in the lattice, because which is very easy to do. So there's also skyhook technology, where you have essentially a rotating like a twirling baton in space, and you get something into the upper atmosphere, and the skyhook grabs it, and then
you're making that up.
Look up the word skyhook.
There's like a hook that whirls around and pulls things up. Is that true? Is that real?
Type in Google the word skyhook.
I'm
also,
taking
there's
your challenge, sir.
Yes. If you're interested in megastructures and space travel, things that could happen in the future, there is a wonderful channel called Isaac Arthur on YouTube, and he's probably the best presenter who also has a speech impediment I've ever heard.
Oh.
Yeah, he's an amazing guy. That's ballsy.
We were able to get through 2 shows practically without talking about that effing State of the Union address, and I'm just happy about that.
That's great. I was planning on maybe listening to it, and then I thought the better of it.
Yeah, so
Does
I
anyone
look
ever
for
say
real.
anything interesting in those things?
Well, for the first couple of minutes, it was all about Ukraine, and even the Republicans weren't booing Biden at that point. There seemed to be some kind of like cohesion, some kind of support, but for the president between Republicans and Democrats on the issue of Ukraine. Once again, surprising, and then things went sideways after that. Things went sideways. Things went back to
Oh,
normal.
so they started booing him?
Lauren, well, the Boebert woman from Colorado, the representative, she was complaining and booing, standing up. Of course, Marjorie Taylor Greene was too, and about just the crazy stuff that they usually do, Boebert and Greene. You think that they'd be separated from birth or something?
I thought America had crossed the Rubicon in a way when during a Barack Obama union address, a Republican shouted out, "You lie!"
Yeah.
And I just, who are you?
It's important to get this kind of historical perspective on how crazy politics in the States have been in the past. There was, before the Civil War, there was a beatdown of a Massachusetts senator who was for abolition by a senator, I believe, from South Carolina. The man, the senator, took his cane and beat the Massachusetts senator down. And the senator, the one who did the beating, was so popular, he was his constituents sent him, and supporters sent him canes.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's how bad things can be.
Yes.
See, now I have to look up the name of the senator because I should know this. It's part of my geek history that I forget about. I feel bad. And Sumner, that's right. The caning of Charles Sumner in 1856. It was when the Representative Preston Brooks, a pro-slavery Democrat from South Carolina, used a walking stick to attack Senator Charles Sumner, an abolitionist from Massachusetts. So,
my God.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, right?
Oh, gentlemen. Oh, yeah. We just, okay, so I'm going to have to close out the show because there's still only Sky work I have to do. And before jumping back to work, to my 9 to 5, or to my day job at least. So, hey, thank you, Cindy Plaza. Thank you, Big Zeb. Thank you, Tobin. And thank you, everyone, in the chat who are watching, lurkers, observers. Same crazy thing tomorrow. Take care.
Shamala.